$100,000 salary. Okay. The first thing that we're going to do is break your income down to a monthly figure, okay? So if you're making $100,000 a year on a monthly basis, that's $8,333 a month, okay? Now this is where we start getting into your debt ratio and your allowance, I like to call it, for what you can qualify for a home. So most lenders, I'm going to change the color here. Most lenders want to see that you're not spending more than 45% of your monthly income on all debt. Okay. Now, this is assuming, more conventional financing, government-backed financing. You could potentially go up to 50 to 55%, even beyond if you're a veteran. But let's go with 45. It's a conservative basis to give you some idea where you might land. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take your monthly income, the $83.33, times 45%. Okay, so that's going to leave you with $3,750 a month that you can carry for all debt, right? That has to include consumer debts and the new mortgage that you have. So again, all debt on a monthly basis, this is the number. So now we're going to talk about what your consumer debt obligations are. So if you have car payments, credit cards, student loans, personal loans, properties you've co-signed for, loans you've co-signed for, IRS payments, child support payments, alimony payments, timeshares, those are all debt obligations that we're going to be looking for. We don't care about your utilities or your insurances, so you can keep them out of this calculation. But for credit cards, I will say this. If you have an American Express card, generally lenders are going to count 5% of your outstanding balance on your credit profile as a payment. There are occasions where we may not count a payment at all, but just hedge your bets, do a 5% payment for your Amex. If you have deferred student loan debt, or in forbearance, unless you're doing a VA loan, it's very unlikely that will be excluded. So even if you're not making a payment, lenders are going to count a payment on student loan debt. So to give you an example, depending on the program you're doing, it could be as little as 0.5% of what your balance is, upwards of 1% of what your balance is. So whatever you owe in total student loan debt, we're going to take a percentage of that and break that down as a monthly debt obligation. Okay, so now for this example, just to carry on with it. So if $3,750 is the most that you can afford to carry with your $100,000 salary, now we got to take out whatever those consumer debts are. So let's just hypothetically say you have a $400 car payment. Let's say you have $200 of credit card minimum payments. We don't care if you're paying extra. We want to go off of the minimum. Let's also say that you have, you have $20,000 of student loan debt. So let's go with the higher factor and say that's $200 a month, which would be 1%. Okay. And let's just say that's about it, right? So those are your consumer debt obligations. Now, what this is where you need to do the math of what's going to be left over for you to buy a house with. So if all of your debts, let me change my color here. So if all of your debts are permitted to be $3,750, I have to take out your car payment, I got to take out credit cards, I have to take out student loans. So if you reduce your $3,750, take off the $400, take off the $200 and the other $200, that's going to put you down to $2,950 a month. Now this is what I call your house allowance. Okay? So this is what you can spend on a mortgage payment on a new home to include, this has to include principal, interest, taxes, insurances, mortgage insurance, and HOA fees if they apply. Okay? So this $2,950 has to represent all of these components. So now what does this tell you? I mean, this is really just a glimpse, because a lot of times when I talk to clients in the beginning, we do this before we run credit, because if we find that this number isn't going to produce what they're looking for on a purchase price, well, we just stop there. So I'm going to dig into how to translate this $2,950 into an actual loan amount and what you can expect for purchase price in my next video. So be sure to look at that, and hopefully it helps you along your way. So hope this is helpful. And of course, if my team or I can ever be of help, we're here for you. Take care.